All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast. I am your host, as always, Marvin Williams, and with me we have my lovely co-host.
Oh, wife is crazy. So
Apparently,
who's the other one?
Alan, probably.
God, okay.
We have my lovely co-host, Rachel Lynn Williams. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing
Good.
good. Had work today. You have a hair in this. Gonna drive me nuts.
There we go.
I had work today on this fine Saturday. But it went really well. All my good clients, super sweet, nice ladies, nice gents. So always good. Always I glitched on that one. Always a good time.
I'm glad you had a good time at work. I pretty much just chilled here at the apartment. What did I do? Did I cook? I don't think I cooked.
No,
But
you didn't cook.
I washed laundry, filled the pet's water bowl, went to the gym. I did something that's a secret that I'll tell you about after this. The people can't know about it, but I'll tell you after this.
Secret for me?
Well, not for you, but it's a secret for the people. I'm literally going to show you after we get off this.
Okay.
God. But yeah, we are going to be recording the podcast as of now, and we touched on this last time, but real quick update: your boy got a second job, not a new job, a second job. So I'm going to get to do digital marketing again. It's what I studied and worked on and got my degree and all that stuff. It's going to be fun and interesting getting back into it. I was very nervous when I got the offer because I was feeling some imposter syndrome, which I low-key feel like we can touch on in the next episode.
Yeah.
Because I think the next episode I'll do a mid-year check-in because we're halfway through the year, seeing how the year's been going for us and the people out there. But definitely very exciting. The glow up is glowing. LinkedIn update is pending, and we're making moves out here,
Yeah.
feeling like an adult and getting life more on track than it already was.
No, exactly. I feel the same way. And super exciting news, big, monumental. I don't know why I broke up news like that, so I felt like I had to add more
all
things.
this now. I don't even know what you're gonna say.
You do know what I'm gonna say. So Jeff Goldblum, we love him. Love him. He had posted a couple weeks ago that him and his wife are hosting this America's Favorite Couple competition. And I saw it. I'm looking on the post that he posted, and I was like, wow, I feel like Marvin and I could be a favorite couple in America. So I decided to register us for funsies. I didn't think anything would come from it. I was just let me just put in our information, see what happens. It just asked about our love story, and then it just had me submit a couple of photos. Well, I think a week or two later, I get an email from America's Favorite Couple.org association, whatever they call themselves, that
from Jeff Goldblum himself.
From Jeff Goldblum himself. He spoke to us both privately. He's so sweet.
The wonderful Wizard of Oz.
I wish he did speak to us. But I got an email and they said that we made it. And now we are in the running for America's Favorite Couple. So I think it's 15 days now.
At this point, probably.
Yeah, something like that. So in about 15 days, voting polls open. And then it's up to the public to vote who America's favorite couple is.
To the people.
To the people. For the people, by the people. Probably one of the only fair votes in America. So if y'all want to vote for us as your favorite couple, we will have the links on all of our social medias, and we will be dropping those social medias below after the episode. Super excited. I didn't even think we were going to make it. And then the fact that we made it, I was like, okay, well, now we got to
we got a damn good story, so.
We do. Oh, the best part is the prize money is $20,000 to the people that win, and
cash prize of $20,000.
Okay.
Year supply of Anastasia Beverly Hills.
Oh my God, somebody's been missing Drag Race a ton. But yeah, so we're super excited because that $20,000 would go a long way for us to start our surrogacy journey to have babies. I'm not the best for a carrier option to have babies. So we're going to play it safe, and we're going to go surrogacy route, and the $20,000 will help us get started. I'm super excited for that if we win.
So people can stop asking us about these mixed redheaded black babies. So they're coming. Just hold your horses. And because, of course, we can't go like too long without talking about it. Love Island is back, baby.
Oh
So
my gosh,
we're going to
and
talk about
so
which
good.
couples are giving like actual love story, which ones are going to be. This is going to be over by Casa Amor. So we've really only seen USA. We've seen the one episode of UK so far. We're going to watch the next one probably after this, but we're going to focus on like USA for today.
Mhm.
So what do you think of the couples?
Good Lord. I don't think any of the couples actually are like solid couples. Like we're about a week in and like there is not one solid couple. Honestly, like even though Huda and Jeremiah are trying to be the day one couple, it's not working. It's not working. I see right through that. I knew the minute she told him that she had a kid, he was going to try to find an out now without saying it because I feel like he's just trying to be respectful. But this last episode, he was not respectful about it. So I definitely feel like he's now trying to find that out by arguing over every little thing. And she's eating it up because I think she likes to argue. So they're not solid. So I don't count them as like a solid couple. And then everybody else, I'm like, I just feel like I like the new bombshell Jalen for Olandria. I feel like that's more her type. That's more what she needs. Taylor, he's a sweetheart. But he's like a little kid sweetheart, you know, like a little. He's like, oh, he's so cute. Not like, wow, that's a man. Oh my, I'd rather Alondria be with Jalen. I'm still waiting for a perfect person to come in for Shelly because I honestly like, even though Ace has his moments, I don't think it's Ace. I don't want it to be Ace. She needs somebody way more secure than him.
I don't think it's going to be Ace. I feel like they're finally going to get together and it's just not going to be what they've built it up to be. But,
Yeah.
you know, hey, we're going to enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
I also don't care for any of the couples. I think they're all just there. I don't care for any of the men. Like, I'm here for
really.
the girls. I am one of the girlies, so I want the girls to win. So, however we get there, we'll figure it out. But until then, who do you think is going to win Love Island 2025?
Oh gosh, who do I think is gonna win? That's tough. I think I do definitely have to stick beside my girl Shelly. I just feel like once somebody right comes in for her, it's over with. It's done and over. And I just feel like the right person needs to walk in because I don't think it's Austin. I don't think it's Ace. I don't think it's one of the other guys in the villa currently. So I need somebody right for her to come in and just like them finish this out. Like a nice, good person, that whole thing.
Okay. Here's hoping.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know how we're going to get here because I don't think Olandria is queer in the slightest. I could be wrong. My vote is on Olandria and Shelly. Somehow, some way, two black women are going to win this show. That's my only option right now because I can't, in good faith, vote for anybody else. I would vote for Sierra and Shelly, but I don't think Sierra and Shelly actually want to be together. I think they just wanted to kiss in that one scene.
I don't think Alandria and Shelly want to be together. I think you just love the both of them.
I need them to win. They are my winners. Somehow, some way, I need them to win because right now they're really the only people that I care for. I do like Sierra, but she's like below them to me. So that's why I'm like, if they were somehow to choose each other and just make it work, they would be my winners.
I'm not mad at it.
But we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
All right. So from summer flings into a actual lifelong impact today, we're going to talk about the men who have shaped us. We're talking about fathers. And this is probably going to be like the most that I've talked about my father, just like in general, because it's never been something that I like talk about. Well, it was something I was told to not talk about, but I'm a grown man. I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about on my podcast. So today we're going to be getting into some like upbringing, some presence versus absence, and some like emotional foundation. So I can start with like my story. So for me, my dad was in prison before I was even born. He was in prison for manslaughter, and I don't have like full story on all of that because that wasn't something that he ever got to talk to me about. And when I was in college, I want to say like June, May 2019, he was actually killed in prison. So before we even got to have like conversations on like deeper things and all that, I didn't get to have that because he was taken away. But I know he was changing. Not like he was a bad person. I just think he went to prison so young. So I give him like grace in that sense so that he had this like this young, not like childish, but like a 17-year-old, 17, 18-year-old mindset for like the longest. And I think he was finally like adjusting to like what life on the outside would have been. But that's something that we won't get to experience. But with that, now that you guys have some backstory on me, with that being said, I know you have had a great relationship with your father
Yeah.
throughout your life. You were raised by a pastor, so we're definitely going to like touch on that. But how would you say that your father's presence, or like in my case, absence, how did that shape who you are today?
I mean, it definitely shaped a lot. I'm definitely like a daddy's girl for sure. I always have been. I mean, it was like I'm appreciative that he was a pastor, honestly, because for me at least, like being raised in a non-denominational Christian household, I wasn't as sheltered as like some other religious pastors' kids may have been. So I still got to like experience things, experience life. Like I think the only things that were really different than my friends was like I couldn't date until I was about 17. He's at 16. I know he's at 16. And then I wanted to date. And then he was like, I said 17. And I was like, no, you didn't. Because he knew I was crazy and he knew I'd be out here. And we're not going to talk about that. We're talking about fathers. And so, me, like, that was something that I could appreciate was like, okay, I had certain restrictions, but it wasn't like, as a kid, I'm like, oh, you're holding me back. You're stopping me from doing what I want to do. But I'm really like, dang, he did really protect me from like a lot of things that could have affected or hurt me. I know there was a time though where him and I um were not on like close terms when I was with my first relationship. We were not very close at all at that point. My dad and I, we would attempt, but it wasn't like how it was. And then when um I got out of that relationship, I think that's when my dad and I got like extremely close. Like that this is I think the closest we've ever been is like post that relationship really helped bring us back together to a point where now, like, I look at both my parents as like a couple of my best friends. Like, I go to them for a lot of things. I talk to them about a lot of things. I go for advice or mentorship or help. Like, so for me, like, yes, I did have more of a present father in my life. My parents have been married for almost 37 years.
Damn.
So, like, how old is Sean? I was 37. So then they're hitting their 37th, I think, wedding
Damn,
anniversary.
just putting your parents' business all out there.
You did it too
What business?
with your dad.
Okay.
Okay. So I can too. If you don't like it, take it out.
I don't care.
So yeah, like for me, it was more presence than absence. And I feel like he's a very present father for not only me and my siblings, but like a lot of my friends.
Me too.
Yeah, for like you and like a lot of my friends, like he likes to, be a father figure for more than just his children. Cause like he loves all of my friends like they're his own children. He loves you like you're his own child. Like he just like loves to love people.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever had like the my dad conversation with your dad, but just like
I don't
pretty
think so.
much from the moment that I got to meet him, he not like intentionally like took me under his wing. I just feel like he just cared for me so much as he does that it just kind of like happened naturally. And he's been like, he bought me like my first tool set, like I'm a
Yeah.
child, like my little first tool set.
Son's first tool set.
My little toy drill and all that. But no, he got me that. He's been like working with me like
Yeah.
around all the apartments that we've had and all these things. So just like little things like that and conversations about life. He's teaching me about, health insurance, which we're going to be getting on my new job. So like all these things that like I couldn't go to my dad for, that he's now teaching me these things. So it's great to definitely have, that new relationship when it comes to having a great father-in-law. So I think that's cool.
Yeah. Well, and I know even though your dad wasn't as present, I know you had still great male figures,
Yeah.
in your life, like your great grandfather and your grandfather and your uncles and
Uncles, all my friends' parents,
yeah.
the Kyle's dad, Thomas's dad. So just like I definitely did have like some input like here and there throughout
Yeah.
life. And I'm grateful for everyone who's had a hand in shaping who I am today.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Now, is there any memory of your dad that you still hold that makes you emotional, whether that be good or bad?
Mostly that comes to mind is like good stuff. Something that does, and it goes back to my first relationship, something that holds a lot of weight to me that I think really like sculpted my trajectory moving forward after my first ex, I remember it was probably a couple months after we had broken up. We'd been together for 4 years. We had a really bad relationship, like terrible, like probably like think of like the most toxic things in a relationship. And I had it in one relationship. So it taught me a lot at a young age to know what I deserved and loved. And I changed myself a lot for the other person. Like I did not gain anything. I only lost everything basically. So it was a couple months after we had broken up. And at this point, I'm like rebuilding friendships. I'm rebuilding relationships with my family, trying to heal what was broken. And my dad, this one day, just randomly looked at me and was like, it was almost like it clicked for him and for me in that moment. But he was like, I'm just so happy to have, he was like, I'm so happy to have my daughter back. And like, or he specifically said, I'm so happy to have my sweetheart back because in that relationship, I changed into like a really mean person. Not like intentionally mean, but I wasn't bubbly. I wasn't light. I wasn't this bright person that people like knew me and know me now to be. During those 4 years, I was just this like dark presence. And when I got out of it, I didn't realize how much I had changed until my dad like said that. And I like looked at myself in a mirror and I was literally like, oh my God, have I changed that much? Like that much about me that it's so obvious that like that piece is back. And it's true. Like, yeah, that was very true. Like that piece was like missing from me for a while. And then I got it back. And it was at that moment that I said, I will never dim my light for another person ever again.
Yeah, I don't think that's something that I have ever had to experience because I know when we got together, and since then you've just been the same Rachel that I know, just adjust a little bit based off of my personality. You're picking up on my little sayings and mannerisms and all that.
Yeah, but that's like a good thing. Like
Yeah. Nothing
the
like
good give and take.
bad where it's like you become a bad person all of a sudden.
Well, because you're not a bad person, you know?
No, I am.
And I think that's the difference. It's like I just picked up all the toxic, manipulative, narcissistic traits in him. And then in my own spin, I created it into something else into me that was just not healthy and great for like myself or the people around me at that point. Stop it.
But from there, was there anything that you felt like you couldn't talk to your dad about growing up?
I don't think at the time growing up, I don't know. We're pretty open. Like, we've always been a pretty open family. Like, I feel like I usually could go to my dad for just about anything. I don't know if there's anything specific. Definitely, I do think though, because they gave me the relationship, they gave me like the like relationship talk, but I still felt like when I was in a relationship or when I was like attempting to step foot into a relationship, because of how I wanted to run my relationships, I didn't feel comfortable like talking to him about relationships, if that makes sense. Like nowadays, I ask him on advice on things in our relationship because I feel comfortable with that. But like at the time, because of where my mindset was at, I was like, I don't want to go to him. I think it was mainly like a conviction thing. Like I didn't want to feel convicted for what I was doing because I knew what I was doing wasn't good. And so I just didn't want to hear it. So I just like ignored it or blocked it out. So I think that was like anytime that I might have felt convicted about something, I didn't want to go to him about it because my father is a freaking mind reader. He knows, he just knows things. Like, I'll tell you, he'll look at you and tell you straight up about yourself. Like, it's a gift. It is a rare gift. Like, he just, and I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to deal with it. I'm like, you know what? You keep that little gift to yourself. I don't want to hear it. So I would just kind of stay silent with certain things that I'm like, I already know he's going to read me like a book, so I don't want to give him the chance to like try.
I definitely think for me, there was nothing that like I couldn't talk to my dad about because I feel like something that I definitely appreciated about him was like he let me be me and like all the things that I liked and stuff. So like there's this one memory that I have of him. Like I think well, not the earliest. I have like tiny early memories, but like one of the like core memories that I have of him is my mom and I were visiting him in prison, and they would have like Polaroids that they would take of you that you'd be able to take back. And for one of the pictures, it was me and him, and I think we were like crouched down, and I put my arms up for the picture, and my mom was like, "Put your arms down." He was like, "If he wants to put his arms up, let him put his arms up." So I put him back up, and they got the picture. I have the picture. That's like one of the earliest pictures that I still do have, but something like that, something so small that he just let me, be my goofy little stuff and put my arms up for the picture. So that was something that I appreciated because he always let me be me. And I didn't like really go to him for like relationship advice because I don't think he was the best at relationships himself, at least not at that time. But I would tell him about like the girls that I was dating and just like, here's what's going on. You may get a daughter-in-law one of these days, you may not, but here's where we at. So.
Yeah.
But let's take it a step deeper because how we were raised doesn't just affect us, it shapes who we love and how we love. How do you think that your relationship with your dad affected your romantic relationships?
I definitely think watching how my dad treated my mom, I knew I always wanted that. I knew, like, he showed me how, like, a woman deserved to be treated. And so when I was stuck in this 4-year relationship that just was super anything but what, like, my dad was giving to my mom, like, I always knew in the back of my head that, like, this isn't what I want. This isn't what is meant to happen. But then I thought I got stuck in the rut of like, well, maybe every relationship is different. Maybe this is what my relationship looks like. And, then I would sit back and realize like, no, like this is not what a real relationship looks like. And so for me, it was just like seeing how he would treat my mom, be patient and kind and soft with her. Like my dad is like I would say he's probably the more emotional one out of my parents. Like honestly, like my dad is probably he's just like, yeah, that's the best way I could put it. He's just more emotional with things. Like, and so he's always very good at like showing my emotions. Not to say that my mom's not. My mom just has a different way of showing it. My dad is more like straightforward showing you. And my mom, it's in the things that she does. But my dad is like, he wants to give her a hug. He wants to give her a kiss. He wants to hold her hand. He wants to like sit there and put his arm around her and cuddle her. And like, so, and he would always like tell her nice things about like, she would come around the corner and she would just be like in a robe and he'd be like, you're so beautiful. Like, he would just say these things. And I'm like, I want that. Like, I want that. And so that was the beauty of growing up in a household like that, because then I was like, after my first relationship, never like lowered my standards at that point. And I was like, no, if I don't get this, I don't want it.
Yeah, I definitely, to this day, I still see your dad like doing all these little things for her and like saying things. So it's cute to be able to catch that. I know for me growing up, I don't have many memories of my mom and dad being together, but I never saw them have like a bad relationship. And with my mom being a lesbian, I've seen her have like multiple partners over the years, but I've never seen her like get into arguments or anything bad like
Mm.
that. So looking back, that's definitely something that I appreciate because I never had that foundation or something instilled in me. Like this is something normal for relationships where we have arguments and back and forth and like we yell at each other, cuss each other out and all those things. So being able to see such normal relationships where they come to ends and new things happen, I definitely appreciate seeing. How do you think that's going to transition over into our kids? Like, what kind of parent do you want to be for our kids, and how do you think they're going to see our love?
I think that the compassion that my dad has shown me will translate, I hope, for like me with my kids, our kids, we kids.
Yo, kid.
The only thing I am concerned about is like I have sometimes a little bit of like anger, little quick snaps, and I also get that from my daddy. My dad has those moments too, but like sometimes I'm like, but like who doesn't? Who doesn't have a little, quick snap, little anger snap? So like I'm hoping more of the compassion and like the loving side of the more patient, loving side of my dad comes out than like the like quick anger side comes out, because sometimes I'd be impatient and you want to add kids into that mix, like that's a lot on me. A lot. I like kids. I like my nephews. Let me specify. But yeah, so I'm hoping that like just showing them the same grace that like my parents showed me, even when they found out that I was like doing certain things. Like when my parents did find out that I was having premarital sex, it wasn't like they were like, you can't do that and you can't do this. No, they were like, are you gonna stop? And I was like, no. And they were like, all right, let's like go get you into the gynecologist. Let's go get you an IUD to make sure you don't get pregnant. Like it was things like that they were like, we can't control what you do, but we are gonna at least give advice. Of course, they, still tried to like talk me out of having sex before marriage, but it was just something that like I personally like didn't find as like a problem for me, like personally. So when they said stuff like that, like they necessarily wouldn't like force me to do anything I didn't want to do, but they would be like, hey, okay, if you're gonna keep doing it, let's at least try to figure out the best way to prevent certain things so that like you don't get hurt. I think something that I definitely would want to carry from my dad into my kids would be, I keep saying my kid, but our kid.
Like this, I'm just interviewing you. I'm some random person. I'm Jennifer Hudson over here.
Oh my God. I
Just
didn't get my
asking my
dance
questions.
intro.
I would.
Oh my God. I would tell our kids something that my dad would always tell us is that I love you not for what you do, but for who you are. That's what he would always say. So like for me, that means a lot because like it's like really true. Like he loves us for us and not for like anything we've done or that we will do. And my sister was scared to come out to my family, being a family of pastors, and like my parents both were like, your trajectory to heaven doesn't change. God's love for you doesn't change. And they're like, and we still love you and we're going to be there for you. Like, of course, do they have their opinions about it? Yeah. But like, just because it's not like something they would do doesn't mean it's something necessarily that they would take away from her. And so again, my dad, like in that moment too, was like, I love you for who you are. So it's something that like I would want that instilled in my kids so that they know that like no matter what they are doing, even though it's gonna upset me or make me disappointed sometimes in those little moments, like it's not gonna change how much I love them.
Yeah, I definitely think that's something that I also want to carry over. I have found myself also having some of those like impatient moments, but I am learning to have patience. And I think working at Trader Joe's has definitely had me find those moments.
Yeah, I'm a
'Cause
little overstimmy
I'm
baby.
having lots of moments with children where I am realizing that I am capable of like handling some crying children and stuff. Like for example, the other day there was this I don't know if she's a single mom, but it was just the mom by herself and this child. They had their groceries and like the mom is like handing me the groceries and the baby's like, "No, that's mine." And the baby's like almost about to cry because I am scanning their groceries. So like in like the blink of an eye, when I realized that, I'm like, oh, you're probably an only child, like I was. Very possessive, hated to share. That's just who we are. Sorry.
Mm.
But in my mind, I'm like, I can do this. So I'm like, would a lollipop distract this child? And she's like, that would be perfect. I give the child a lollipop and I'm like, I'm going to take this banana, I'm going to scan it, and I'm going to give it back to you. So that's the way I got through that. And the kid was just like, oh, okay, I got it. I understand. You're just doing your thing. You're giving it right back to me. You're not going to take my stuff away from me. And you give me lollipops and stickers. I got it. But like, I definitely don't want to like spoil children. So I think for us, I definitely want to like make sure the kids like understand like little things and the
Hmm.
way they work. It's like, yes, we're giving you things, but like, you don't have to be so possessive over these little things because the material things don't matter that much. Like, yes, they're toys or groceries and stuff, but you're gonna be okay. So I'm finding ways to be like, you're gonna be. Well, what's going on with your
You're
face?
gonna spoil these kids rotten.
I
You cannot sit here and lie to these good people. You are going to spoil these kids rotten. You didn't even realize how spoiled you made me until you realized that I'm not even gonna get up to get my own drink or my little sweet treat. You are going to spoil those kids rotten.
I
Guess what's
think
gonna happen? It's gonna be me and the two kids, you getting up and getting us all sweet treats.
no.
Yeah,
So what
100%.
I think is going to happen is that I'll be able to not like back off, but I definitely think I'm gonna have the kids come with me to do things. I'm gonna be like, oh, we want to get
Okay.
treats. We're all gonna go get treats. Not daddy's going to go get treats for everybody. We're all gonna get up, go in the kitchen, and pick out our stuff. Dad's not gonna be like, "What do you want? You want this? I got you. I'll be right back." We're not gonna do that. Everybody's getting up to go get stuff, but then from
Okay.
occasion they're gonna see daddy go get mommy's stuff because I don't need them to all just be like, well, if you're getting mom something, can you get me something too? Yes, I definitely want to not spoil the kids, but I want to
Mm.
give them better than what I had. Not that I had like anything bad, but I definitely want them to have better experiences just in general, because like I had like little things here and there that I would have liked to change throughout my childhood. So I definitely want them to have a good life, not a spoiled life, but a good life.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so what kind of dad do you hope that I'm gonna be?
I wasn't expecting a question like that. You didn't ask me what kind of a mom you would want me to be. You didn't like answer for me to see what kind of a mom you want me to be.
I didn't think of it then. It came to me this time. I can ask
There goes
you.
the
We're
selfish
in
only
the
child.
moment.
Okay, ask me the question again.
What kind of dad do you think or hope I'm going to be?
I think you're going to be very patient. I think you're going to be very loving. I think you're going to be very attentive to them with anything and everything. I think that they are very you're going to be very blessed to have a dad like you because you're a very nurturing and caring person. So I definitely feel like I can't say honestly that I hope for anything because I already feel like I know what kind of dad you're going to be and that excites me because I honestly anybody else I was with, I just didn't want to have kids with. And with you, like I do want to have kids with you and that says a lot about the types of people that like I was with and the type of person I'm with now and like seeing how great you are just like in general with my nephews and like seeing how they love you and they like love to see you and like they ask for you and they reach for you like that already shows me all that I need to see that like seeing you interact with like my nephews like as old as like 14, he's going to be 14 in July, and then like the other one is 12 and then the youngest is 3 turning 4, like from all these different ages you know how to react and handle a child from like as old as my oldest nephew to like as young as like the youngest nephew. And so for me, it's like just very exciting to almost see like a little preview to what it'll look like when we actually do have kids. And like, if you're that attentive with my nephews, then like that just means you're going to be that much more into it with like our kids.
Yeah, these are gonna be like babies, and babies scare me just a little bit because I'm like, I don't want to break you, which is why like I was very nervous when Hito was born. But we're in a good space now. He's a pretty durable kid, if I say so myself.
Life has made that baby very durable.
Exactly. So he's fine. He'll be all right. But I know with our kids, I'm gonna be like, oh my god, of course I'm going to hold you, but dear God, I'm gonna make sure I'm sitting down when I'm holding you. But yeah, as far as you being a mom, since apparently I didn't ask you last
No,
time.
you didn't. Okay,
God,
how am I going to be? And what do you hope? What do you think?
it's not like something that I like hope. I know who you are, not just with like your nephews and family, but like with your fan,
My fans, all
your
my adoring
thousands of
fan.
fans, your friends and your family. I know like you care so much and you put so much like thought and attention into everyone.
Oh.
So I know you're just gonna like feel so much when it comes to like your actual children. So I just know you're gonna be like there at their beck and call, whatever they need. You're gonna be like, oh, you didn't tell me about that school project. Yes, I'm mad as hell now, but we're going to the store and we're gonna get what you need.
Dragging them by the ankle
So
out
yeah.
the door to the store. We're going to Walmart. It's 10 o'clock at night. I don't care. We're finishing it tonight.
So yeah, all those things. I definitely think you're gonna be there and just like watching over them, and of course you're gonna like have your mama bear instinct kick in, and you're gonna be ready to freaking murder anybody out there that does anything wrong to our children.
Oh,
So
100%. Especially the social climate. Like, I fear for our children. I do.
I love
And
mixed babies.
yeah, our little cute mixed babies, like, I'm not mentally preparing myself. If I'm mentally preparing for myself when someone says something and how I'm going to handle it without actually committing a crime. So, like, that's the hardest part for me is just like making sure that like I do the best that I can to protect them, but know that when something happens, I can still protect them as much as possible. Like, which is like hard, to it's sad that like that's how you have to think and it's sad that that's what this world is. But, if that's what it's going to take, like I'll do what I can to make sure that they have like the best lives and not deal with, the bullshit from somebody making a comment, a slur, an attack, and make sure that I'm just there to be there for them when that comes.
Yeah, I know that's part of the things where I'm talking about. I want to make sure that we give them the best life possible. I don't want them to be in positions where these things happen because, like, I know if they're with me, no one's going to say anything to them.
Yeah.
I'm a very big man and I'm only getting bigger. But I know, like, if you're out by yourself, it's just this white woman with her two mixed babies.
Yeah.
People are going to talk and think and make faces and stuff. But I know if we're there together, we'll be able to protect them. So nobody's
Mm,
going to mess with us and nobody's going to mess with our babies or they'll
even
be
if I
held to
am by
pay.
myself, you want to say something? Mace.
Just may.
Mace. Or I got like my nails. I'll just kind of like,
It's going to claw at their face.
just poke them in the eyes. Real quick. Just a nice look. Or like in the jugular, get them in the throat.
Jesus.
I'm just saying there's options. I just click on options and
Oh,
there they
God.
are.
I love that this is the way that it's going for you. All right. Well, because no story is simple, let's talk about what people don't know about our dad. So, how did having a pastor as a dad impact your relationship with faith?
I think it definitely did help in certain ways. And I feel like I will say for a time, I was only in my faith because my family was in that faith. And so I felt like I had to be in that faith because of my family being in that faith. And then because of my dad being a pastor and being a big role in our community, it's not also like a smaller church. It was a mega church. It was 6 campuses. It was all over our cities that I grew up in. So it's like I would just walk outside and like I wouldn't know a person. They'd be like, "Oh, you're Ed Bellner's kid," and it's like, "Who are you?" Like, who are you? Like, it's just super. It would like be super hard because then like there were times that like I would literally just be hanging out with a group of friends and my dad would get a text message from a person and being like, "I saw your daughter hanging out with boys." And then I'd be getting a phone call. "Who are you with? Who are you hanging out with?" I'm like, "Dad, I'm with my group of friends that I told you I was hanging out with." So it would be hard sometimes because these nosy people around the city would just like call my dad to try to what, like rat me out or something about what I was doing. And it's just like, mind your business. I'm chilling with my friends. I'm chilling, doing stuff. He would be calling him, texting him. "Oh, is your daughter at Levis Commons by any chance?" And if I was, leave me alone. I'm chilling. Like, so it was things like that that would kind of bother me because I felt like a lot of times I didn't have privacy when I would go out because I'm obvious. I'm super obvious. My hair literally is so obvious that like stepping outside, people just automatically were like, "Oh, there's this young redhead girl. She's the pastor's daughter." Like I stuck out like a sore thumb, so I couldn't just like go and do things without being like seen and people making comments to my dad about what I was doing. So it would be really hard just trying to like enjoy time with like friends or whatever. And then when it came to like specifically my faith, yeah, I was in it more so for my parents and my siblings because I felt like that's what I had to do as a part of the family, as a part of like, a pastor's family in the community. I will say there was a time where I just fell out of my faith and then I was like just kind of doing my own thing, living my own way. And certain life circumstances then happened to me that in that moment where you feel at your lowest, that's when, God kind of like shows back up a little bit and is like, "Hey, I actually never left. I've been here." And so for me, like, it took me to live through something pretty dark to experience that light again. And so, like, for me, I am still a part of my parents' same faith. I am still non-denominational Christian, but it took me to fall out of it to discover if that was something that I did truly want. And when I realized that, like, yeah, I can want it for myself instead of feeling like I need to have it for someone else was a really good feeling because then like I don't feel forced when I want to pick up my Bible. I don't feel forced when I want to pray or do like a devotional or watch a Bible study or go to church. Like I feel like I'm doing it for myself, my knowledge, my growth rather than like anybody else's. So that in a way, like it was nice to have at least some sort of a foundation within my family. Like my family at least had a pretty good foundation. So when I stepped out and was able to come back in, it wasn't hard or like uncomfortable. It just kind of flowed.
Yeah, I think even for me, like being raised in the church, we all have our moments where we step out a little bit and like aren't as close with God, but I feel like we find our way back, whether that just be through something in life or something just like calls to us. But I still see, the faith in you. I know you read your Bible. You girls haven't done Bible study as much, but I know you still do your devotionals. That's what they call.
Sometimes, yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes we'll get on the phone and there'll be like a church that one of the girls like watches and they'll have like a life group going on and they'll be like, oh, hey, like if anybody wants to tune in, it's on YouTube and like I'm starting it now. So like we'll jump on or like, if there is a moment that we just during the day we read something in our Bibles or something for the devotional, we'll just be like, oh my gosh, can I talk to you about it? And it's really nice to have some other friends that are like around the same religion or same faith to kind of be there to help uplift you. And I'm happy that like my like closest friends all we share a very similar foundation in our faith.
Yeah, and I've seen your friends like ask your dad for like what scripture should I read and stuff like that. So something like that is definitely something I definitely want to transition over to our kids as well.
Yeah.
Because wherever we're gonna be, I'm sure we'll like have our church and be able to like take them to that and have them see what it's like to grow up in the church. And of course, they'll make their own decisions as they get older.
Yeah.
But these are the way things happen in life. We'll get there when we get there. But what do you think you inherited from your dad,
Oh
either
my
good or bad?
gosh, what didn't I inherit from this man? Everybody says that like my mannerisms, my facial expressions are like my mom, and that is 100% true. The way that like we speak, we laugh, we talk, we flow, 100% her. My personality, 100% I think is my dad. Like I definitely think most of my personality is made up of my father's personality. There are so many things that um I had drawn from him, whether it's like how directionally well I handle myself. Like, I drive someplace 2, 3 times and boom, I know it by heart. Like I know how to get there. Like there are certain things that like I know I see specifically, and then there are things that still pop up like as I'm older that I'm like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. I get it from him. Or like my OCD. My dad is very OCD and my dad's very ADHD. And I have both of those things from this man. And so thank you so much, Pastor, Father, Reverend, Bishop, Pope, Ed Bellner. Appreciate that so much. And whether it's also that or like, how we joke, we joke very similarly. We have a lot of the same like, bad dad joke mannerisms and like our love for cooking shows or like I definitely think I got his sensitive side, his like very affectionate like touch, physical touch is like a big thing for my dad. He loves physical touch. Like he loves giving hugs, he loves getting hugs. He's like the type that like if you physically like hug him, it lights up his day. Like immediately. Like you want to make my dad's day better, like give him a hug and he'll he's so happy. He'll like live off that for like a year. Like he loves that stuff. And I think I got that from him. Like when I get like affection or love, then I'm like, ah, yeah, I love this. So I definitely feel like there's a lot of things I got from him, whether it comes to like affection or my sensitive side. Like I'm an empath. I'm pretty sure he's an empath, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
It only would
Yeah.
make sense.
It does make sense. But yeah, so there's a lot of my personality is a lot of my dad, a lot of the straightforwardness. I'm very straightforward. Um, Sorry to my friends and family, but I am a very straightforward person. And sometimes, it's good, sometimes it's bad, but that's who I am and I tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And my dad does the same thing. He did that the same exact thing to me my whole life. And honestly, like that's how I would want it for myself. I don't want someone to sugarcoat anything to me. So I'm not gonna do it to somebody else because that's not being a good friend. That's not being a good sister or like aunt or wife, like I wanna be just like my dad where like he's just a very like open and honest person. And I definitely have that behavior for sure. Like okay, so this all ties back to again I have a lot of his personality.
Yeah, no, after meeting him, seeing you two together, yeah, I definitely think there's times where I'm like, yeah, I definitely married your father. Times where I'm like, I married your mother too. So like, you definitely
Yes.
got a good mix between the both of
I
them.
am definitely a mixed bag of nuts from the both of them. Like, my mom is definitely also a very open and honest person. Like, so when you're a child of two people that say it like it is, then you're just gonna be a kid that says it like it is. And so, um, my parents are very similar too, and I feel like that's like us. Like you and I have a lot of similarities within like behaviorals, mannerisms, personalities. And so like for me, I definitely see from both parents um a lot of the same things that they both have that now I have. So I literally am like I just feel like me and my siblings all there are days where we're more like one or the other. Like we are literally both our parents, all three of us.
Yeah, I think for me, I was always told growing up that I look exactly like my mom. I never got my dad until I got much older.
Yeah.
But now I can sometimes see him in there. I definitely think I got a lot of my personality from my mom, but I know like there's bits and pieces where I'll see like that was all dad. But overall, like definitely got his name, of course. That was a copy and paste, not my choice. Um, like I said, some of his personality, some of his humor. I think a little bit of attitude because I don't have like a lot of attitude, but like there are times where I'm like, all right, I gotta like dial that back just a little bit.
Mm.
But I don't like that way you said that. But I definitely think the way that he like cares for and protects his family, that was definitely something that I think I got from him. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, kind of like wrap this all up. Is there anything that you
Don't
want
ask
to
me.
say to your dad?
Don't ask me that. I'm
Nothing you
on
don't
my
want to.
period
Oh
and
my.
I'm even more sensitive than I was talking about Mother's Day because you go first.
Oh, I'm going first. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go first. You go
Well,
first.
I kind of went earlier with like talking about my dad, but I definitely think like if I could say anything to him, I would say that he did his best. I definitely appreciated all the effort that he did in his later years. I definitely think being married to my stepmom was something that like was able to bring something out of him. I know our relationship definitely got a lot stronger because it wasn't just like surface level stuff. We got like a little deeper. I know I was able to than him. When I was in college, I was working on my second to last mixtape called The Journey, and I literally hand wrote all the songs and I sent them to him, so he was able to like read and see what I was like as a musician because he was never gonna actually get to hear me rap and stuff. But that's something that I was able to like share with him, and he was able to like get to know another side of me. I definitely give him grace for the decision that he made when he was young that got him to where he was. I definitely know he was a kid, you know, kids make bad decisions all the time, but that doesn't make them bad people. I know that he had grown a lot and I definitely saw the growth. I know me being so young when he died, I was in a different space that he wasn't, I guess, maybe prepared for and that I wasn't prepared for either because he would reach out to me and I was like, I'm hanging out with my friends. I can't text you or call you back, Dad. But I definitely would have texted and called back if I had known, of course.
Right.
But I don't like put that on me. I know that I was a kid. So it's like, what am I going to do? But I definitely think he would have loved you. I wish he would have gotten to meet you. I definitely think similar to like the relationship you had with my mom, you would have had with him. I wish he would get to meet our future kids, but I definitely know he's like watching over us and having his thoughts and definitely laughing at all the stupid things along the way. And then for your dad, I guess I'll like send a little message. I definitely appreciate all that he does for us just in general. Like he definitely talks us through a lot of things and just helps kind of, I guess, put a little points on some deeper things in life. So it definitely helps me like understand and see what it's like to be a dad now that I like actually put myself in that kind of mindset, not
Yeah.
just like oh, I want kids. Now it's like, all right, well now I want to be a good dad. So like it helps me see what that looks like. So I definitely appreciate all that he does for us, all that he does like on the side that we don't even see or
Yeah.
hear about, and just for being such a great person. You know, not everybody has a great relationship with their in-laws, but I definitely think we have a wonderful relationship. He calls, he texts, he really wants to watch cooking shows with us all the time. What time is it? It's Saturday at 9 o'clock. I wouldn't be surprised if he texts us sometime tonight saying he wants to watch something.
Dang, I
Haven't
was
yet.
hoping that I would pull up and be
But no,
like,
I would not be surprised if he's like, "Hey, you guys," if he's like, "I'm down if you guys are down." So
yeah.
just he's an absolutely wonderful human being, and I love having him in my life.
I almost started crying when you were talking about your dad with our kids. Something that I want to tell my dad is that I am very grateful to have you as a dad. Not many people are blessed to have the type of dad that you are. You're definitely a one in a million type of person, like, period. Not just as a dad, but as a brother, as a son, as an uncle, as a friend. Like, you're just like a top tier person.
You've got this. I believe in you.
I just love him so much, and I put him through so much, and not just him, like my mom too, but
You were young.
I blame my period. Okay, I got it. I got it. I got
You
it. I
got
got
this.
it.
We're almost there. Cross the
Almost there.
finish line. Bring it home.
Ooh. Oh God, now I'm like really red. Go 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 go. Um.
Ah,
Did I
he did.
If you're at home wanting to watch a cooking show, we can make that happen.
I felt
Oh
the
my
vibration. I
God.
was like, it's him.
Jeez,
He
Louis.
felt it in the universe. Let's wrap this up so we can
Okay.
watch the show.
Okay. But yes, you are a top tier human being. I couldn't have asked for a better dad in my life. Not only the dad you are to me, but the dad you are to all of my friends and your in-laws. I just really appreciate everything you've taught me and everything you've shown me growing up. Thank you for showing me how a woman is supposed to be treated in a relationship. Thank you for standing by my side even when I went through some pretty hard times. Because I wouldn't have been able to do it without you. Having you and mom walk me down the aisle to my favorite person ever just means the world to me, just to have, you as a dad. And to my brother too, who is a wonderful father to my nephews. I love you so much. I appreciate everything that you do for those boys because they really also have an amazing, great, witty, silly, goofy, fun, loving, caring dad. I'm very thankful for all the men in my life that I have, and I'm thankful for having you. And when I get to celebrate you on Father's Day, eventually, like, that will be a very exciting moment. And even though the path isn't exactly what we thought it would be, I wouldn't have wanted to do that with anybody else. So,
Nobody else.
I'm like, there's that side of me that I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to start IVF and get this thing going so that we can get to that point because I definitely do want that family and everything. So I'm very thankful for showing me the type of man that I'm supposed to have in my life. And I appreciate you so much, Dad. And I love you so much. Hunter loves you and misses you too.
All right. So to the dads who were there, the dads who couldn't be, and the people who fathered us anyway, we definitely thank you. And to our future babies, you will know what love looks like because we worked for it.
Yeah. And we're thinking of all of you guys out there too, who on this Father's Day might be struggling because of a broken relationship with a dad, a missing parent in your life, and anything else that could come of it. We definitely love and see you and understand where you're coming from. So hope that this Father's Day is something that can go well for you within family and you can still celebrate, the people that are like dads in your life.
Yeah. So if this episode hit home or made you call your dad, please rate and review and share. Send this to your own dad or your father figure in your life. Definitely send this to your friends because I think this is going to be a good episode that anybody could need. But all hearts are clear. So Rachel, where can the people find you?
The people can find me on Instagram. It's at rosegold_Ray. That's RAE. And you can find me at my nail page at Ray. Do you wanna? You can find me also on my nail page. It's at Nails by Rachel WRACHAEL. And then my TikTok is just Rose Gold Ray.
All right, guys, make sure you follow the show on both Instagram and TikTok at Meant to Be Pod. That's EANT, the number 2BEPOD. And of course, if there's anything that you guys want us to talk about, our email is always open. That's also meant to be pod at gmail.com. That's MEANT, the number 2BEPOD at gmail.com. So until next time, guys, make sure you keep it real, keep it kind.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.